What's up, everyone? My name is Kelly K, and we're live on Listed Live. How are you guys tonight?
All
Good. How are
right,
you?
Good.
right. How
All
you
right, all right,
doing?
all right. We have a guest co-host tonight, Cluren. How are you, sir?
All right, how you doing? Thank you, Kelly, for having me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Cluren, it's amazing about everything that you do. So tell us a bit more about um, everything that you do. Am I hearing music somewhere?
I don't know. I'm not playing no music
What's
right
what's going on tonight?
now.
Not me.
Crazy. And I love the
Um,
fact that you say you're activist. That's pretty cool, especially being
Yeah,
a
we
well,
want to find out more about what you do.
revolutionary first.
okay.
I say that with all due respect. There has been a defining moment in the culture that I was raised in, the community that I was raised in the city that I was raised in, and for that, I have to call it what it is. A lot of times we can ask people to give us the credit and not even know that the credit will be given by changing the language. Sometimes changing the language of conversations, titles, everything means so much more than you can ever imagine. And so I've experienced one of those times. I know the difference. And everybody should be active, no matter what color you are, no matter what race you are, where you're from. Everybody should be active in what is going on in their community. That is
Yeah.
not a leadership role that has a job description. Nothing. You can be a football coach. You can be a teacher. You can be a person that just wants to help out some of the homeless people around your neighborhood. You can be a grocery store worker, a McDonald's worker, a Wendy's worker, or whatever. It's not
Okay.
nothing special about the person who decides to activate themselves and care about what's going on and how the next 10 years will affect their children, maybe their grandchildren, siblings, or whatever it is. But you have to be aware of that. And so that's the difference between being a revolutionary activist and an activist. Being active is something we all should be able to do. The revolutionary part is the part that I tackle head on because my brother Lawrence Parrish was shot 12 times by the Austin Police Department in 2017, April 7th. He survived those 12 shots. My brother was
Wow.
shot in his eyes, he was shot in his nose, he was shot in his mouth, he was shot 3 times in each upper shoulder, he was shot in both hands. They had to amputate his hands. He had to go
Wow.
through at least 16 different procedures. And then he was lied on and placed under arrest for aggravated assault on 4 different officers. It took me about two
Wow.
years to fight for my brother to get his freedom. We won the case. They dropped the case before we began trial, and the truth came out that my brother never had a weapon or posed a threat with the weapon to the Austin Police Department. And that initially started the revolution. I shut down 2 prisons in my brother's name, 2 women's prisons that was being built in Hutto, Texas, right near here in Austin. I put the infamous ICE on trial for illegal documentation, immigrants, and basically taking them, raping them, keeping them from their children illegally, and stealing these people and putting them across the border or locking them up in jails. I fought with Sandra Bland's mother. I've had 60,000 people march with me from the Houston Tillotson College, one of the first black colleges in the United States of America, to the Capitol. I've done some things with a lot of people that I would not have ever done if this didn't happen. So, in the middle of the tragedy, the sorrow, and the loss, I've defunded the APD with my brother's story. One of the first
Wow.
times this ever happened in history that a police union did not receive a contract based off of community vocalism. My story stopped a contract that needed to be stopped in 2018 for the first time ever in history. I've done Juneteenth for my city for the last 2 years without any funding, any support from the city of Austin or the officials, due to the epidemic of COVID, these things were told to us that they couldn't be done and shouldn't be done. And but at the same time, we don't have a lot of days for my people in America to celebrate authentically
Mm-hmm.
that are not adopted by Romans or Catholics or anybody, that we
Yeah.
can really come together and celebrate for. And so I had to fight for that, and I did. I say a lot of I, but there's not an I in we. So let me be clear: there are a team, a list of brothers and sisters, kings and queens, black and white people, in all colors, gay and straight, that have aided me to making sure that I can take my brother's story, my family's story, and take it from a city to a statewide story to a national to a viral story with the help of Sean King, different bloggers and things like that. We were able to find just a moment of justice, or what it would seem to be as. We still have to go to trial. We still all have a lot of civil suit, and we still are searching for the justice that we seek. I deal with my brother who feels as he doesn't get the attention that others people get right now because he didn't die. He takes that very hard because he is alive. And so a lot of people, they'll see him or they'll see what we're going through and say, hey, man, he alive. You should be happy, and just leave it at that. Well, 4 years we look up and they don't know that there's an inside destruction that was done. The wounds and the body has healed and will heal and will continue to heal in some form or way or fashion what limbs he has left. But the internal destruction that has been left on my family and not my entire family is beyond just what happened to my brother. And I believe that's why I had to kind of like accept this revolutionary activist title, write books, become an author, become an educator, kind of like kick my whole life all the way to the side, because I seen that it wasn't just the voice that needed to be there, but it was actually bodies, people. People needed to see other people there. They needed to see people that wasn't related to each other and care. So, I've stretched out pretty wide. I've just left Elizabeth, North Carolina, fighting with Andrew Brown family, helping out there in the crisis that was going on out there just a few months ago. I was just at Mr. Patrick Warren's house in Cluren, Texas, who was killed by Cluren police there in his home, at his home, for no reason. And so Lee Merritt is now going for the general of Texas right now, attorney general position. But I've worked with him. And like I said, I don't get paid for none of these things I do. I am an author, so I get paid for my books. I'm going to sell my books and stuff like that. But I've jumped out here for 4 years now and laid my blood, sweat, and tears on the line because I truly believe that these things have to be done, because I see so many people stuck on black and white. And if it's not black, then it's white, and that's just not true. It is so false. It's the biggest falsehood that is placed in media and streams of media, for us to think that this world is just black and white, while everything else is going on around us. And the quality of life and fighting for my freedom, I will continue to do, and get people and educate them about what fighting for freedom looks like. And so all that happened in my experience. I became an organizer and stuff like this. So I don't want to just keep going and use the whole show about me. It's so much stuff I can talk about me. The main thing is I took a tremendous tragedy and allowed the process to come in through me, to change my thinking process, to love again, and allow God to get in my life and use me to go ahead and help change so many other lives. I hear it all the time, and I don't believe it sometimes. I still don't see it because I know where I come from. But I have not allowed the ex-dope dealer, the ex-convict, the ex-gangbanger, the ex-deadbeat daddy for real. Security, he got something up to take care of kids. I was a real deadbeat daddy. I didn't give a damn about anything, excuse my language, but I remember that person very vividly. And I think that's why I kind of like don't celebrate what I do. I don't celebrate no victories. I don't pop champagne bottles. I don't do none of that stuff. I look at it and I say, look how much more work we have to do. Because soon as one thing is, you think you done one thing, then you look up and right down the street, hey, George Floyd murderer is locked up. 5 minutes later, oh, they just shot a little boy right around the corner. And it's a non-ending cycle. And a lot of this stuff has to, start with legislation and things like that. So I'm just trying to build a base of weapons and people to help bring power back into the people, so that maybe if I don't get to experience the quality of life that I search for, by God, let me fight for my children to receive that quality of life that I search for. And if I don't get nothing else done in my life, I never become a big rap star, sell a million books. I know one thing, I think I got enough juice in me to fight for this quality of life that I seek for my family until I get ready to go. And I'm okay with that. I'm not worried about anything else. Anything else comes extra. Any trophy, any ceremony, any days, anything that people look at me and see that I do and they say, man, you're just so amazing. Any of that ever come, it's fine. But I've chosen my route, and that's the fight for my financial freedom. That's the fight for the independence that I seek for. That's the fight for the health that I seek for in this country. Because it's too many people that I'm looking at every day, and we talking about rappers that's getting killed, and we still gotta bake fish and chicken plates for to bury them. We talking about people who have plenty of IG followings right now, million followers, and can't get buried. We talking about people who not even understanding they still ain't got good health insurance. Right? I'm living and I'm saying to myself, I'm going to tell my doctor, I don't want you to be my doctor. Who is your doctor? Because I'm going to who you go to. I'm fed up with what's going on. Because the doctor you using, you keeping you alive. Every time I come in here, I send somebody I know in here, they come back and they die. We're not dealing with that no more. We have to find ways to voice it out, organize it, strategically plan, and come together. So I don't mind fighting with the LGBT community for the quality of life that we see, the quality of life for the Mexican and brown, Hispanic quality of life leaders. I work with them. I don't pick and choose the battles. Like I said, I've marched with the brown people. I've marched with everybody. We talking about being able to hire process. We talking about being able to do just regular stuff. All these things is what I'm involved in. It's what I'm willing to speak about. It's what I'm willing to fight about. All these things I really care about because they all affect our quality of life. Mental health has been one of my major concerns. It's been one of my biggest concerns in my community. And so I try not to leave people out. I try not to leave people out and say certain things to make people feel like they left out. I try to make sure that the door is wide open. So, because I work with a lot of organizations that are black ran, and they'll say, well, hey, yeah, this is a black woman organization, but you're a white woman and you never experienced what black women experience. So we don't want you a part of the organization. And she's like, oh, I want to help though. I want to help. And she can't help because, well, they just don't want that type of help. I mean, that's not my business, but this is what I've been adopted into. This is what I see. And so since I seen it, I realized that the game wasn't too much different than the game that I came from. I mean, it ain't like it's a secret. We're looking at Black Lives Matter. We can't walk into one office in America of a Black Lives Matter office, just a little office. I don't care if it ain't even have a bathroom. But y'all got too much money where we can't come to our office and get services. So how can I keep on hearing Black Lives Matter and I can't go to an office and man then slap me with a bitty club, me and my mama for no reason, and I can't walk into one of the most powerful chants in America to an office and get some service. But then we turn around and cuss out the NAACP and the churches. Say the churches ain't doing that. And make mockery of the churches and everything they stand for. Well, you can't, you don't want to get caught in all that. So I try not to get caught in the politics. What we got to do is quit letting people and systems and organizations play politics with our baby lives. See, we can't allow that to happen. And I was able not to allow that to happen just for a moment with me and my brother. But they monetized the story of me and my brother. Plenty of organizations got paid off me and my brother and did not do 80% of what they said they was going to do. We still had to pay out of pocket for our lawyers. Nobody wanted to touch his case. Nobody believed. I took a lawyer that went to high school with me named Chris Tolbert, and he was my lawyer, 2 years older than me. And he helped me win and fight out that case, and so for Lawrence Perry, my brother. And so when I look back at everything I had to go through, it was so much stuff that I learned that I can help families go through who go through police brutality. And so I guess it was a no-brainer because I had this semi-victory in my community eyes that, oh wow, I've never seen somebody do this. You're like, you one person. Like, I've had people call me and say, man, you're an NAACP in yourself. And I'll be like, wow, thank you. And I'm talking about, white women who have mixed children. I have people who call me soon as their family member dies, all around the state of Texas, around the world. And so now I built a career, basically, I was speaking to people in their most vulnerable time. Why? Because I have a special connecting with that vulnerability. And that energy right there doesn't have to have a sound. It's just pure energy. So I'm able to identify what people are going to. And I think that in itself, I have to take serious for myself. So I had to name myself. I had to say I'm a revolutionary activist. I had to say I'm an educator. I didn't want y'all to just say, oh, he write books. Why? Because I'm a black man. And I don't know any other authors and writers that I grew up with. And so if I just let you say, oh, he write books and simplify what I do, then it really gives it no signal. I have to give that to it. I have to make this worth something. What I do, where I go, when I speak, I have to make that worth something.
That's right.
That's what we've done.
It starts with you, right? So you have to put that out there, like this is who I am,
This is who I am. So I'm a revolutionary activist and I'm an educator. I'm not just somebody who write books. No, I sit down and I educate and I learn and I like to be educated. It's one of the tools that I had to use coming out of prison. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to muscle my way and take from people and hurt people and debo my way in or manipulate my way and be a conman and the best conman. I knew I couldn't do it that way. I knew that if I was going to survive and right my wrongs, I was going to have to be smarter. I was going to have to literally sit there and be smarter. And so I've practiced things to control, being able to master myself, being able to hold myself accountable. So if I'm one of those people who basically build an entire life off of holding itself accountable, then I'm not afraid to hold the police department accountable. I'm not afraid to hold my district, city council, woman or man accountable. I'm not afraid to hold the district judges accountable. I'm not afraid to tell them to their face that we require a certain amount of
your dog agrees. He's like, hell yeah.
Yeah, a certain amount of accountability and transparency when you're working and what you're doing for our tax dollars. And I can say as simple as that, or we can just do the food. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to say I'm okay with doing riots or destroying neighborhoods, but I will tell you this. When it get real, it get real. And I've been there when it got real. I've been there saving women from getting shot, being shot, and nobody's out there doing anything wrong. So I've sat there and I've watched it. I've seen the treatment of the children and the women and the black innocent people, anybody that's just trying to have a voice. I've seen it firsthand. And so when it go there, it go there. And it's not a right or wrong thing. They will try to pick the right and wrong, but it's really not a right or wrong thing. You cannot suppress. You cannot keep stepping, kicking, pushing, punching, stabbing, shooting, stuffing people down the way that this country does black men and women and people of color, and think that something is not going to happen. That's not going to happen. We're not in that day. We're not going to even keep taking it.
Right. I agree with you. It's just like the
But then I also want
AAPI.
to add one thing too before I go. I want the leaders and anybody watching this, if you hear my voice, I want you to take the same energy that I give you about the suppression of this country, and I want you to take your butt and step right across your street, and I want you to tell every one of your partners that when they kill one of our own, when we kill each other, when we go up and we run up in these clubs and we kill everybody in these clubs, and y'all yelling this gang savage life, and y'all run around here living in ignorance, destroying our future, doing the fool. I want you to have that same energy that we got against these oppressors and these white folks with these fools doing the same shit. I mean that, man, because I am vitally serious about that. When I tell you I'm fighting against every type of oppression, I mean I'm fighting against gatekeepers. I'm fighting against people my own kind that's keeping me down. Ain't no barrel, bucket, crab mentality, none of that. We can't take no more.
Correct.
And another thing, your black card don't give you the right to choose who gonna be able to come in the new kingdom. You can't say, oh, I'm black, so I don't want gays. You can't say, oh, I'm black, so I don't want mixed people. I'm black, I don't want them guys. Oh, she ain't give me none when we was in high school. I don't want her here neither. You can't say those things because you got a black card. Quit using your black card to keep people down. That is another form of oppression that people use on a day-to-day basis to beat you down. And we ain't tolerating that either. We have to join together, literally, to fight this juggernaut for a better quality of life. That is the bottom line. Once we get that done, hey man, we can split it all back up and never talk to each other again. I don't care. But I guarantee you, if we can just come together for a moment in time to fight against the juggernaut oppression that we all feel and have in common, then I think that we can start and we can have a chance, man, to have that quality of life that I want my kids to have. I don't know about y'all kids or siblings. I don't know if y'all got any. If you do, I would hope that you would want your child or the people you hold dear to you, to have that type of quality of life. And I'm gonna stop right there, and we can keep on going through the thing and talk about
it. Well, you know what? Am I echoing? Sorry, guys. Or is it fine? Okay, so I don't know, Winner, you just joined us. Hey, Winner, what's up? I don't know how much you heard about the Cluren speech, but personally, I literally got goosebumps all the way through, and this is one of the reasons why we do Listed Live. It's not just a music platform for new artists, and yes, it's important to, put people on and, let them talk about their stories, but we want to hear stories just like your story, because to me, you're a hero, you stand up for people's rights, and just as you said, it's not just like you're picking and choosing, you're standing up for everyone, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, and you're like all about that. So I feel really inspired, and I really want to know, where do we go, where do we find your book, where do you do your public speeches, do you do them often, where can people find you? Because I feel like there's a lot that needs to be learned, and a lot of people need to be educated of what's really going on, and I feel like you are that voice for those people.
Well, I'm on Amazon, okay? You can just type in my name, Cluren Williams. That's Cluren Williams. You can type it in there. I have a children's book here. Show it. It's called Oscar the Ostrich Wants to Fly. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So when you look on there, it's called Oscar the Ostrich Wants to Fly. It's a children's book. It's about an ostrich that was born, of course, not to fly, but it's a bird. So just for you guys who don't know much about the animal kingdom, this is one of the only birds that can't fly. Yeah. And so basically what he does is he never gives up. And so I'm just going to give you the initial goal and statement for it. Basically, it says nothing is impossible when you put your mind to it. So for all the Oscars in the world who have been told that they can't do something, always think of Oscar and never give up. So he basically strategized and came up with a way for him to fly with all his bird friends, and he winds up with a big old school eagle, OG. come to
Oh,
school
nice.
bus and show him a few things, and basically winds up getting his dream alive. And the story is just made for you to, once you go through things in life, maybe you are born with certain amputations or certain dysfunctions. We don't know. There's a lot of people that are in
Yeah.
situations that put them in a disadvantage already. And so those people show us time and time again what thinking outside the box look like, from Special Olympics to all kinds of things, right? And so that was kind of like my inspiration on this character, and this is going to be somebody who is going to do a lot of things. Oscar's going to learn how to surf. Oscar's going to learn how to do a bank account. Oscar's going to go to school for the first time. Oscar's going to do a lot of stuff. So just keep up with Oscar.
I love that.
My true story right here is called Music, Money, and Murder. This is also written by me. This is based on the life of a guy prior to today. But this is a true story. Names have been changed to be stay confidential. It was about my drug dealing days, how me and my daughter's mother, who was actually my fiance, started, making a lot of money selling drugs. She was murdered. We both went to prison. She got 10 years. I got 5 years. I did 5 years. She did 4.5 years in prison with me. 30 days after her release, she was murdered in Houston, Texas.
Sorry to hear that.
And we went to prison together, and she found out she was pregnant while we was in prison. So basically, all the kind of like nightmares that I had as a person, literally as a man, I had to deal with them my first experience going to prison. I never wanted to have my kids go through what I went through. That's any parent. And here I am, in my early 20s, and I'm like, my daughter's going to be born in prison. What of a hell of a father you are, So
Yeah.
I guess that was kind of knocked out. But it was plenty of things that could have kind of like just made me just give up so much, so many different stories, and I can't tell them all. So I started to write. And I wound up reading a book a week for 5 years. I sat in solitary confinement for 2.5 years. Most people that go through these experiences, like Khalif Browder, one of the main juggernauts of this experience that I've seen, that
I
made
watched this documentary that was produced by Jay-Z. It was such a, sad story.
he
Yeah.
committed suicide
Yeah.
shortly after his release, going through what I went through too. And these are one of the conditions that I fight against inside the system, with all the state prisons Texas have and all the private prisons and all the money and stuff. So shutting down prisons and women prisons, which women should really be glad. Things like that is just second to none. I can't really tell you about the experience. And so, like I say, Music, Money, and Murder are on all book platforms: ebook, Kindle, Barnes and Nobles, Amazon. What I like to do is I like to send you directly through me. So you have my email. I don't know if it's appropriate to put my Venmos and stuff like that on there the way you can get it, but I sell signature books myself directly from me. That's why I have these books here. I've sold pretty much almost 2,000 books to date here myself alone, without the use of the Amazons and stuff like that. I'm not saying that Amazon is a good partner or nothing like that. Everybody loves Amazon.
We are gonna put the direct link in the description box so people can just contact you straight, just direct to you and get that.
So
But before we ask the other hosts, what they think and what's their questions to you, God works in like mysterious ways, because after not hearing from a friend of mine for many, many years, I didn't know what happened to him. He lives in California. He reached out to me today. He was serving some time. He just got out. And he told me he basically is looking, I was talking to him like, what's going on? What's your next step? What's your next move? And he was saying like he wants to open a ministry for people who are not being accepted by church. So I feel like, this is like a sign, like I should really direct him to you, because I feel like, he's on kind of the same mindset as you. He wants to help his community, he wants to do something. And I feel like he would be really inspired by, someone like you yourself. So, definitely I will be sending his contact to you as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about Cluren's speech and what he does. Do you guys have any questions?
I mean, me personally, I just think that was very powerful, and it was also eye-opening for me. Being an Asian American, I grew up in the United States. I don't really experience that myself, but lately, the last year or two, I've seen my people being, experiencing, harsh hates, to certain, variant at the moment, and people's been blaming on my kind that because of us, we spreading the disease around. And being an Asian American, as you know that's hurt me a lot, because I thought about my parents, seeing these elderly get pushed down and sent, in the valleys, and and things like that, and I worry for my parents because their age, and things like that. And I worry for myself as well, because I'm also like color of people. And even though I never experienced that in my, younger life, now I'm just thinking back, like what you said, like, we have to all stand together no matter what color of people. And I have a personal friend of mine that went to prison too, and I've seen the firsthand how he got treated. I went to visit him with his mother, and I was completely shocked that they were treating him like an animal, and things like that. It just broke my heart, and that other people were getting, non-blacks, I'm saying, were getting treated somewhat a little better, but not much. But he was just put in a corner, and like, they don't care about his physical needs or special, mental needs or anything. And
Hmm.
from base what you said, it just resonate a lot with me. And and I'm so glad that you're standing up for what you're believing and helping. And even though it's one person, but starts with you, like, what I'm saying? And we can all make a difference. And if we can all, bond together, no matter what race we are, we can make this world a better place and show people, like, especially the white, primacy folks, that's like, hey, you can't boss us around like this. This is not
Yeah.
going to happen. Like, just because, you're Karen and whatever stuff like that, you don't have the right to boss me around. Like, this is not your country. This is everybody's country. It's a melting pot. And even though, like I said, I have never experienced that kind of, but I have friends who are in, Asians, have been treated poorly by, their bosses and stuff, because of, they don't have like an extensive vocabulary like I do, grew up in the United States, and they get like bossed around, and they get mistreated. And some of their mother, I basically tell them, but like, you can't let them do that. And I try to tell them, you got to stand up to your boss. But a lot of times they're like, oh, I'm going to get fired and stuff, because sometimes they're refugees, from like Vietnamese, China, whatever, and they're scared. But sometimes they work under the table, so they're not being respected either. And to me, that is just unacceptable. Be like, just because you are white and white primacy status, you don't have the right to treat me or black or any other color, race any different. We're still people. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
so that really hit home for me, a lot about that kind of stuff.
Well, that's beautifully said, Sue.
Yeah.
We are going to talk about Donda in a second. We have a comment about stream Donda. Don't worry, we're going to get there. Rashida, what did you think? And do you have any questions for
I
Cluren?
don't have any. I don't have any questions because he said a lot, and I respect the fact that, brother, that you were out there showing and doing the work, and that's all I can commend you for. So it's definitely, I appreciate it. I'm a black woman, obviously, so my experience with racism and standing up for yourself and making sure all three of my girls are respected, and it's just, I try not to get too deep in these topics because it makes my head hurt, because I live it, because I'm a black woman, and I'm a black woman living here in Florida. And I just commend you for doing what you're doing. There's just
Thank you.
keep pushing. I will pray for you that God gives you the strength and the wisdom every day to keep doing that, and you're not quitting. It's so profound because you said your brother got shot all those times on April 7th. That's actually my birthday. And to think of what I was doing on my birthday that year, you know what I mean? It's like, wow. It was different. I was pregnant, and because you said 2007, right?
Oh, 2017.
17, yes, I was pregnant. My fiance was murdered a few months prior to that. In Durham, North Carolina. So I was a lot, and it's just things have to change, but we have to make it change. So continuous blessings for you. Hard, and when you probably have people trying to push up against you, telling you probably shouldn't, you should quit, and you're still pursuing everything. And I thank you.
I got more people telling me to keep going than I got telling me to stop. I got more people. Yeah, I got more people supporting me now, man, than I ever had in my life. And they not supporting me. We supporting each other. The reality is that, I mean, in some way of a form of fashion, and with the work that we're involved in, certain people see that that's it's for them, literally for them. And so embracing me is embracing them, certain parts of them, certain things of them that they have probably not had a chance to address. I have so many Spanish friends who have been raised not to like black people. I have so many friends, right, that are not black who had black conversations. I've always had conversations with my friends and told them, I want you to know something, friend, that we as black people, we ain't never talked about other cultures. They ain't never told me before I go outside, hey man, don't hang with the white boys. Never. You see what I'm saying? Now we had the conversation about the police. Every black family got to have a conversation. I don't care if you just say don't do nothing for the police to mess with you. I don't care what your parents say, but they gonna say something about the land, the law of the land, because for centuries, and since I was a little kid, my grandparents and everything, the law of the land has always had the right to kill us. They've always been getting away with murdering us. 14-year-old, 13-year-old kids in electric chairs. Everybody know about it, and we still haven't fixed it.
Nope.
So trust me, I understand. I truly understand.
And I commend you so much. I totally commend you. So keep pushing, my brother. You have my prayers.
Thank you.
Winner, what's your thoughts? What's your comments?
Yeah, he's got my support, man. I like what he's doing. We need more people like you, bro.
Thank you.
Great. So, what would be your vision, for the next, let's say, 2 to 5 years? Do you have a specific vision, a goal that you're working towards with everything that you do?
Oh yeah. I'm going to go back to school to be a lawyer, attorney. I think the activism, author, attorney, all kind of like go hand to hand or whatever. I want to do more damage to my fields and line of work. I want to get more involved, and like you guys said, I feel like being in there and fighting from the inside is my next level of fighting. It's only so much I can do on the outside. I can stay out here, work with nonprofits, work with businesses in for profit, get money just to give money away, being another gatekeeper basically. Because even if I get involved and the state give me $20,000 right now to do what I'm doing, I'm still gonna have to give it to my people. And so in some form of fashion, it'll be a setup for me to be a gatekeeper, even if I was a good one. And that's not what I want. I don't want my people to have to come to somebody else to get what they need. That is ridiculous. We are the only culture of humans on this planet where the system has set it up for us to come through other people to live. No whites, no Mexicans, nobody else system is set up for anybody else to live but us. If black people need money in their city and they have nonprofits, they doing anything to try to build a quality of life, they gotta build another committee just to ask for the money. I can't go to one city. I can probably go to all y'all city right now and ask, what's the black budget? What's the black quality of life and budget? Probably everybody probably say we ain't got one. And that is ridiculous. I see all white nonprofit organizations that ain't doing nothing but planting flowers that don't grow no type of fruits and get more money than black organizations. And then you line all the black people up and say, go to the Urban League, get some money. Go to NAACP, get some money. These people don't have the bandwidth to help with the black community. Go to the church and get some money. They getting money. Are y'all crazy? Why are we the only ones having to go through another human being to get something? Well, we ain't doing that no more. I don't want to go to you, your mama, none of y'all. I don't care who you work for. I don't care if you're the president, governor, whoever you is, none of your names. I don't care what title you is. I'm not trying to come to you to get no money or none of the things I need to have a quality of life. It's not yours anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some people that got enough sense to feed their own self. They learn how to fish and teach other people how to fish. They don't go around giving everybody fish sandwiches. They line up and teach other people how to fish so that we can get our land. We can get our identity. We can fight for our freedom without having to hurt people. This fight is not a physical war. This has been a spiritual and mental war. It's been that way since our people fought physically for us to fight this way. If it get physical, I guarantee you, we more than prepared. But that's not what it's about. This is being faithful, living in faith, believing in the unseen. If you are one of those people, you will be called. Your number gonna come up and you will have to step up and help other people. Because other people nowadays, no matter what kind of car they got, no matter how many women they got, no matter how much money they got, they don't believe in Jack. They have no faith, splittily black, nothing. And the person that stands next to them, they got a faith of a mustard seed, that's gonna be the leader around that town. Amen. That's gonna be the everybody run to person. That person might not even have a job, but that's gonna be the true leader of the community because that's the people they count on.
Do you know what? People like you really make me think. That's why some of us are just different. You know, some people just have a calling to do something, and I feel like you are one of those people that have a calling and the gift to actually speak up for others. And we just have Rosalind joining us. Hey, Rosalind. Hey, Rosalind. How much did you hear of this conversation?
I heard a little bit. I was having computer issues, camera issues, so I was on earlier, but y'all couldn't see me.
Well, we can see you now. Yeah. So what did you think of, Cluren and his
some strong words. Yeah, very, very intelligent. I saw the books that you had up and the story. I want to read that book, the murder. What's it called? That looks really good about your life story. Yes.
I'll put it in the chat.
Yes. I like books like that. Very inspirational.
Someone's in the comments asking, Cluren, who did your portrait behind you?
The funny thing is, the honest to God truth, I went to this black I didn't go to it. I was basically, invited as a speaker and as a guest in this Black Excellent event. Some people in Austin seen what I was doing and wanted to basically give me my cards while I was alive. And there was a beautiful woman who were doing live painting right there on the scene. And one was being auctioned and, she didn't have a price on her painting. She was basically saying, hey, whatever you got, give me. So I seen the painting and I was like, okay, I like it. Now, of course, everybody probably look at the painting and say, is that you? Because my kids, when they come in, they say, that's my daddy up there. And I'm like, that's not me, but I wasn't thinking about it, how much it kind of probably resembled me. So if you think it look like me and think it's me, it's not me. I got it that way because of what it symbolized, what the stage of life where I was in my awakening stages, and I just knew that that was one of the most beautiful pictures that I had seen in a long time. And I love art, just to let you know. And so I purchased it from a young woman, but we won a nice one too. But yeah, I bought it from her.
I would kind of also do like a Jesus reference when I'm looking at it, you know? It kind of gives me that kind of energy. You know,
Like it.
I love the art, you know. I didn't really look at it until now as much. So the more I'm looking at it, you know, the more you start noticing like the eye and then
Yeah.
the little, you know, with the teardrops. So I guess there's a lot going on in that picture. It's beautiful. Whoever did this art, you know, she's
That's
amazing.
his third eye. That's his
Third
third eye.
eye.
His
Yeah.
eyes
That's
closed.
nice. It's really
So,
nice.
so for the very last 10 minutes, thank you, Cluren, for, you know, joining us and telling us your story and, you know, sharing your experiences and your books and all the great work that you do. We are going to put in the description box all the information for people to be able to contact you to buy your books or to invite you to speak at their events and stuff. I think, you know, it's very important to always remember that tomorrow is really not promised to anyone. So whatever
Amen.
you want to do today, whatever plans you have, whatever you think of achieving or doing, start it now, because tomorrow is really not a
No
promise to
promise.
anyone.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen.
you know,
Amen
let's
to
just
that.
say thank you that we're alive today and, you know, appreciate each other, you know, the love that we share with one another and, you know, just give our blessings and thanks. So,
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.